Some big changes to the Section 8 provision within the stimulus package that we need to know about. Let's get into it and discuss all of the details and what changes have they made. But really quickly, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as it's totally free to do so, and I'm here for you every single day with all of the latest updates and maintaining my commitment to you and this community as a whole, which is to help you out in any way that I can during this time, as things are changing rapidly, and as a result of these packages that are being passed through Congress right now, there will be money and benefits on the table for lower income individuals, and I want to make sure that you're getting all of those benefits. So again, thank you so much for watching, subscribe down below, and let's get into this right away. Alright, so they have made some changes to the Section 8 provision within the stimulus package. So a few weeks ago, I was out with a video laying out all of the details of the Section 8 provisions as they were currently in the package at that time. However, between then and now, they have actually gone in and started refining this stimulus package. You probably know that because you've been watching the channel for a while now, I would anticipate, right? And of course, you have hit that subscribe button right down below. Thanks again, I do appreciate it. But as a result of them shaving down different provisions within this stimulus package to lower the price tag on it, they unfortunately have also taken down some of the provisions within this section, which is allocated for Section 8 and housing for low-income individuals. So unfortunately, I think a lot of us probably saw this coming when they started talking about shaving down this package. We probably thought, oh great, what are they going to take out of it for low-income people? Well, unfortunately, that's typically what they do, and they actually have lowered this one a little bit. So let me run through some of the details on this. So originally in this stimulus package, they had $327 billion allocated for Section 8 and rental assistance. $90 billion of that 327 was actually allocated for rental assistance. Great stuff. A lot of money there for low-income individuals with housing. I mean, that's awesome. Let's be real here. One of our biggest expenses on an ongoing monthly basis is, yeah, exactly that. Housing. When you look at your accounts and you look at your biggest expenditures on a monthly basis, how much do you pay on your housing? Of course, I don't want to know your number, but I'm just saying the biggest expense that most of us have is our payments toward rent and whatever else we have going on, right? So that is usually our biggest payment going out. Therefore, when we see this $327 billion in there for housing, that's pretty cool stuff. And then not only that, there's a lot of people right here in this community, I've seen your comments down below, that are on the waiting list for Section 8 housing. A lot of times it's a very long list. In fact, some people are waiting years and years and years to get into housing through the Section 8 program because there's such a backlog on this. There's simply not enough money, and there's simply not enough housing units to actually supply all of the people who need the housing, right? Well, as a result of that, one of the things within this package, the $327 billion, they were going to allocate that for more low-income housing. Good stuff, right? So here's what we know. There's actually about one housing unit for every 5 people who are looking for a unit. So as you can see, there's a major issue here, right? They need more housing units. All right, so some of the changes that have been made to this. So originally, like I said, they had $327 billion in the package. It was sounding pretty good there, and that was going to set up 1 million new housing units, which at any given point right now in the United States, there's about 600,000 homeless people. Therefore, it would have given us a surplus of housing units, which we could have actually helped alleviate some of the waiting times for people who are still waiting for their housing units. All right, long story short, here's what they did. They shaved the package down. It is no longer $327 billion for Section 8 and housing for low income, but rather it's $150 billion. Yeah, so they took it down by over 50%. Over 50% they shaved off of this. So from $327 billion down to $150 billion. It's still something. It's not zero, but it's significantly less, right? Now, here's what this is probably going to do. Now, again, this money's still there, but rather than serving 1 million new housing units, it's only going to serve about 300,000 new units. So less than a third of the total number of units that it previously was going to service. Now it's only going to serve about 300,000. Remember just a minute ago, I said at any given point there's about 600,000 homeless people in the United States right now. Well, unfortunately, that's only going to service about half of them. Well, what about the backlog of people that are still waiting for housing units that we were looking for and hopefully going to help all those people out get into a unit much faster because of all of this money allocated? Well, again, there might be a backlog with that as well, or as in it may not alleviate some of those waiting times. By the way, I just have to say this. I've been calling it a housing unit. I apologize. I don't mean to make it sound like it's a unit. I apologize. That's just kind of what it's been referred to in the information that I've been looking at, but I apologize. It certainly is a house, right? Absolutely. It's a home. It's a place for somebody to live, so please don't, be mad at me. I'm just sorry. I was referring to it as what they've been calling it in the information that I've been referencing. So anyway, I apologize. But anyway, yes, a home, an apartment, whatever it happens to be, a place for somebody to go and call their home, right? A very important place, a shelter, a place that you can go and say, wow, I closed the door. I'm inside my home. This is a comfortable place. I enjoy spending my time here. And this is a great place. I'm happy to be here. I'm proud to live here, right? So, yeah, it's a nice thing. But either way, they've shaved it down to $150 billion, which is probably going to service about 300,000 homes. With that being said, the real question is going to be, are they actually going to allocate this money for people who are maybe homeless looking into getting into a home, or are they going to take this money and maybe establish new housing, as in build new low-income housing, affordable housing, things like this? Or will they allocate more money for maybe independent, private owners to start enrolling into the Section 8 program and start opening up their homes for, low-income individuals to start living there? Or will they take this money and start alleviating some of the backlog? You know what I mean? So there's a variety of different ways that they could start spending this money. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, they've shaved it down by over 50%. So of course, it's not going to serve everybody that it once was going to previously when it was at the amount of $327 billion, right? So unfortunately, this is just one of the cuts that they made within the stimulus package. Now, is there anything we can do about this? I'm going to be honest with you. Probably not, right? It's just what Congress has agreed upon, but it could have been way worse. Here's the thing. They were actually negotiating on this thing, and they actually originally talked about it shaving it down to $100 billion. So wow, that would have been over a 66% reduction in the total money allocated, right? But again, they went back and forth and they negotiated, and they decided to bump it up to 150. So anyway, I wanted to bring you this quick update, let you know what's going on with the Section 8 portion of the stimulus package. Now, again, anything can change at any given time, but this is something that was very important to some of the representatives in there. And of course, it's rightfully so. It's very important, right? Of course, one of the necessities of life is shelter, right? We need shelter to some degree, right? We need something to keep us out of the elements, some place to live, some place to call home. But anyway, so this is out there. It's still available, the $150 billion. And again, like I said, originally in the $327 billion, there was $90 billion allocated for rental assistance. Now, again, are they going to keep the $90 billion in there for rental assistance? You'd think that they would shave that down proportionately as well, right? So on the 327, 90 of which was rental assistance. So maybe this time you would think if it's shaved down to 150, maybe 40 billion, or maybe even less, 30 billion of which would be allocated for rental assistance. But here's another interesting stat about that. Remember in the last two stimulus packages, the one that was passed in December of 2020 and the one that was passed in March of 2021. Between those two packages alone, they had $46 billion of rental assistance within it. Well, at last check, about maybe a week or so ago, when I last saw some information on this, they still had about 50 or more % of those funds that have not been distributed yet. So even though this rental assistance sounds great, oh yeah, rental assistance, it'd be so good for everybody. Is it really the best thing, though, at the end of the day? Because they're not even getting that money out the door. They still have, according to the reports that I was seeing, about 25 to $30 billion of that $46 billion available. What's it doing? It's just sitting there. It's not helping anybody sitting in some account, right? It's not doing anything for the people if it's not being distributed and sent out in the means in which it was actually allocated. So even though rental assistance is a great thing and would help out low-income people a ton, the money that they've already allocated is not even being used for the most part. Don't get me wrong. Some people are taking advantage of it, and some people are getting some really nice rewards, as in they're being helped out right now with their rent. That's a great thing. But why do we still have tens of billions of dollars sitting on the books right now that haven't been sent out for the purpose that it was actually allocated. Doesn't really make any sense, right? It seems to me that they should have taken all that money and really, really pumped it out. I mean, literally, anybody who needs it, come and get some, right? Anybody who wants some rental assistance, come and grab your share is pretty much what it should have been. But it hasn't been that way. It's more just kind of sitting there and they're slowly trickling it out. This money should have been out the door 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago. It should have been out the door a long time ago, right? But here we are closing on in on the end of 2021, and we're still sitting on tens of billions of dollars of rental assistance. So anyway, just a quick side note that we have to take into consideration when we talk about rental assistance. So it's a matter of how they're actually going to distribute this money and actually allocate it, right? So anyway, hope this helps you out. Again, I'll keep watching everything closely. I'll bring you the updates as I see them, but I wanted to bring you this one because this is an important update on this Section 8 portion of this stimulus package. So again, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video so you don't miss any videos going forward as things continue to change very rapidly. I'm watching it all closely and I'll continue to bring you these updates as we get them. So enjoy your day, subscribe down below, share the videos with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other 2,000 videos or thereabouts right here on the channel. Enjoy.